Hey YouTube, it's your boy Jerry Mouse. Welcome to another reading of the Power of Awareness. Today we are talking about Chapter 10, Creation. This is a fascinating chapter that if you can really chew on this chapter, you'll have a perfect understanding of the importance of changing your concept of self and also the understanding of creation and how it's finished already. In other words, the thing that you say you want to have, or the type of person that you want to be, or the type of life you want to live, it's already done. It's already created because God's creation is already finished. This is a finished kingdom that we are operating in. So remember, as you listen to this chapter, remember, you already are the person you want to be. You are listening to this as a reminder of who you are and how all of this works. So we're going to dive in on this chapter. We'll come back in the end to really, so I can share with you guys my experience with creation already being finished. Let's dive right into it. The Power of Awareness, Chapter 10, Creation. I am God, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times, things that are not yet done. Isaiah 46, 9, 10. Creation is finished. Creativeness is only a deeper receptiveness for the entire contents of all time and all space, while experienced in a time sequence actually coexist in an infinite and eternal now. In other words, all that you have ever been or ever will be, in fact, all that mankind ever was or ever will be, exists now. This is what is meant by creation, and the statement that creation is finished means nothing is ever to be created. It is only to be manifested. What is called creativeness is only becoming aware of what already is. You simply become aware of increasing portions of that which already exists. The fact that you can never be anything that you are not already, or experience anything not already existing, explains the experience of having an acute feeling of having heard before what is being said, or having met before the person being met for the first time, or having seen before a place or thing seen for the first time. The whole of creation exists in you, and it is your destiny to become increasingly aware of its infinite wonders and to experience ever greater and grander portions of it. If creation is finished and all events are taking place now, the question that springs naturally to mind is, what determines your life track? What determines your time track? That is, what determines the events which you encounter? What determines the events in which you encounter? And the answer is your concept of yourself. Concepts determine the route that attention follows. Here's a good test that proves this fact. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and observe the route that your attention follows. You will observe that as long as you remain faithful to the assumption, so long will your attention be confronted with images clearly related to that assumption. For example, if you assume that you have a wonderful business, you will notice how in your imagination, your attention is focused on incident after incident relating to the assumption. Friends congratulate you, tell you how lucky you are, others are envious and critical. From there, your attention goes to larger offices, bigger bank balances, and many other similarly related events. Persistence in this assumption will result in actually experiencing, in fact, that which you assumed. The same is true regarding any concept. If your concept of yourself is that you are a failure, you would encounter in your imagination a whole series of incidents in conformance to that concept. Thus, it is clearly seen how you, by your concept of yourself, determine your present, that is, the particular portion of creation which you now experience, and your future, that is, the particular portion of creation which you will experience. That was chapter 10, Creation, by Neville Goddard. Yo, what you're experiencing right now, whether it's a memory or a thought of the future, or just being present, the way you were experiencing it is filtered through your concept of yourself. If you change your concept of yourself, you will experience your past, your present, and your future completely different. And now here's another kicker. The past is only based on your five senses. Everything you know of your past is because of the things that you've experienced in the past with your five senses. But your future is a shadow. It's an abyss. You've never been there before. You've never experienced it before. But right now, you can experience both. You can experience the past right now, and you can experience the future right now. By your concept of yourself. Because where you are in imagination, that's where your physical body will go in the future. And where your concept of self is right now determines how you view your past. And based on this example that he's talking about right here is, if you start assuming that you have a thriving business, or you have a thriving relationship, or you have thriving health, you start assuming that just right here, right now, just sitting here, listening to me. You don't even have to close your eyes. If you can just sit in your chair, just, assume the position and assume that you are the person you want to be. Buck up, be that person now, even for the moment. Your thoughts will change to match that state of consciousness. The way you breathe will change to match that state of consciousness, and your body will match that state of consciousness. Just in the minute little assumption that you're having right now, you can feel it. It's only happening right now. You get to choose right now. And all that said, creation is finished. So all of God's creation, everything that you run into in this world, already created, already determined. It's your concept of a self that is helping you experience it the way you are experiencing it. If you want to change the experience that you're having in God's created world, change your concept of yourself. But Jerry, how do I change my concept of yourself? By assuming that you already are that person. You're already loved. you're already wealthy. You're already healthy. You've already passed the test. You've already gotten the contract signed. You 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 already won the race. But until you accept that as true, you're always going to experience God's creation as a failure. You're going to do these things anyways. You're going to run into whatever it is that you end up running to in the future. It was already created. The only thing that wasn't created was your concept of yourself that you get to choose. And all the desires for the great and wonderful things that you have, God wants those things too. But He's not going to force you to accept His gifts. So you have that desire for that thing, whatever it is. You have a desire to be seen a certain way. You want to be respected. You want to be heard. You want to be seen. Well, God already sees you that way. He already created you that way. Change your concept of yourself. Neville says, man's faith in God can be measured in the confidence in himself. Attitude awareness and imaginal control. That's the game we're playing here. Change your concept of yourself. You guys are awesome. Stay wonderful out there. Peace and hair grease.